Hello guys, hope you are doing well. In this tutorial we are going to learn about Laravel routing. So let's start the today's tutorial. In this tutorial we'll cover this point. So first we'll see what is Laravel routing. After that we'll see what are the different categories of the Laravel routing. Under that we'll see what is basic routing. Then second is the route parameters. So there are two types of route parameter, that is required and optional. And at the last we'll see what is name route. So what is exactly Laravel routing? So routing is one essential feature of the Laravel. So routing allows us to route all the application requests to its appropriate controller. So all these Laravel routes are defined in the route files, which are located in the routes directory. So let me show you the directory of the route in the Laravel application. So this is the project that we have created, and under that project you will see the routes directory, and here are the different routing files. So we mostly use the web.php file to add the custom routes. Then there are different routing categories as well. So first is the basic routing. So mostly routing is used to display the web pages or display the content on the web pages, or if you want to store some data into the database with the help of post method. So there are different HTTP request methods as well, or form methods. With the help of that method we can easily store the data or get the data on the template. So we are using that routes to render the web page. So we'll see what is basic routing with the help of example. So in the previous tutorial we have created the component. So for rendering that component we have already created the custom route, that is, this is the route that we have created. So we have added some URL, that is index, and just we have returned the view template, that is index template, and under that template we have added the component. So let me show you the index URL. So I have already run the project on the local development server. So in the URL I have just added the index. So this is the parent component that we have created in a previous tutorial, and we have rendered this component with the help of this route name. So this is the basic routing. So all these routing files are get loaded and generated automatically by the Laravel application. The next one is the route parameters. So basically route parameters means sometimes we want to pass some parameters along with the URL. So it can be either a required or optional. So what is required parameter? So basically required parameter means, as the name defines, it is mandatory to pass the parameter in the URL. So we need to pass some data or parameters in the URL. So let's see the example of the required parameter. So I'm creating a new route for that. So just write the route, and I'm using the same method, get method. So I'm adding the URL, that is emp, and under that I'm adding the parameter, that is id. And return with the same template. So here you can add whatever templates you want to render. So I'm just copying same template. So this is the example of the required parameter. So here we have added the id and we have added the template name, that is index. So this is basically the example of the required parameter. Then next is the optional parameter. So basically optional parameter means the parameter which are not present within the URL but the developers had to use them. So such parameters are indicated by the question marks. So let's see the example of the optional parameter. So I'm just copying this same route. I'm updating the URL here, so I'm adding employee and just updating the parameter as well. So I'm adding the name parameter and end with the question mark, so that indicates it is the optional parameter. And under the function we need to pass some for checking this route, optional parameter routes. I'm adding here name value, that is test, and under that function I'm just printing that value with the help of echo. So I'm adding here echo. So we'll check with the help of this URL. So come back to the browser. So I'm updating here employee. Yes, here you will see the test that we have added in the function test value. So this is the optional parameter. So with the help of question mark we can add the optional parameter. Then next is the name route. So basically name routes gives or provides a way to assign some name or alias to the route URL. So this is basically for which is easy to remember that route or URL with the help of that name. So with the help of name method we can pass the name for that URL. So let's see the example of the name routes. So I'm just creating a new route for that. So here I'm adding the route get method and I'm adding the URL, that is user/profile. Also we need to add here controller. So we have not created any controller, so as an example I'm just adding the controller. So within the single code we need to pass that controller. Also we need to specify the function name. So I'm just adding here function profile. We'll see how to create a controller, how to create a function in the next tutorial, but as an example I'm just using this controller name. So at the end we need to pass the name method. So in that name method whatever name you want to pass here, so I'm just passing the profile name. So this is the syntax of the name route. So here we have added the URL name, that is user/profile. This is the user controller and here is the method. So we can add what logic in that method, and with the help of name method we can access that route, or we can easily remember that route URL with the help of this name. So these are the categories of the Laravel routing. So this is all over about the Laravel routing. So in the next tutorial we'll see about the Vue.js. So thank you for watching this tutorial. We'll see you in the next tutorial. Goodbye, take care, happy coding.